Okay, we are live. How's it going, everybody? It has been a long time since I have done a stream, close to 2 years, almost 2 years. So we got Mike D, Joey the Hot Dog Man, and
There he
Johnny
is.
and Johnny Boy. What's up, everybody?
What's up?
So
What's
the
up, Joe?
purpose of this stream is to talk about where we all came from, a neighborhood we all know and love. We lived and grew up in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. So me and my family, Johnny is my cousin, and we both grew up in the same house. Uh, his mother and my mother are sisters, and we grew up in like a middle class family, But it was a great neighborhood growing up. Um, Went to St. Cecilia's. Johnny, now you moved. When did you moved? I know you moved around. You moved to Wood Point Road, right? And then
Yeah, I was on Wood Point, and then after Wood Point, we went to Brentwood,
it's
right?
right? Yep,
Right, and then after Brentwood, we went to the Poconos,
yep.
and then after the Poconos, back to Greenpoint. But
But
we were
yeah.
throughout the whole thing, I was always in Greenpoint, though, always on Diamond Street.
No matter where you went, you always wound up coming back to Greenpoint.
Johnny, did you frequent Mount Airy Lodge?
Well, what? How did that commercial go again?
Beautiful
bring your
Mount
love
Airy.
of everything.
Dude, I love Mount Airy Lodge.
My
I
grand-
do. But
my
you know what's
grand-
crazy? I remember, you know what's crazy? I remember watching the commercials for Mount Airy Lodge, and then when I moved to the Poconos, I never went there. I think I was too young now.
Yeah.
My grandfather, my father's father, used to call it Mount Harry.
Beautiful Mount Airy Lodge.
Mike, where were you born? Where did you grow up? Where did you get started?
When did I get started?
Where did you get started?
Well, that was my father and mother that got me started.
Obviously.
No, I was born on North Henry Street, lived right across the street from St. Cecilia Schoolyard,
Yeah.
and right across from the church. Lived there until I was trying to do the math. 14. Then I moved to South Ozone Park.
And
Then
where'd you go to school? Did you go to St. Cecilia's?
No, I went to 110.
You went to 110. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I went to 110. So 110, then I went to 126 for a year, and then I went to Holy Ghost on North 7th.
Gotcha. All right.
You know, where the Pollock kids used to go to.
And we got Towley. I don't know who that is.
That's either Kendall or Josh.
Oh, great.
So yeah, I lived over there, and then I moved back in 93 back to Brooklyn, and I moved on to 1st Street.
All right. And Joseph,
What's up?
tell everybody about your story.
What do you mean? What's my story?
What's your story? Where were you born? I know you lived on Herbert Street, but you weren't born there, right?
No, I wasn't born there. No, I when I was young, I was born. My mom was still living on Powers,
Okay.
and then from Powers we moved to Graham Avenue. That was when I was a little younger, and then when I was in 1st grade, right before that year, that's when I moved to Herbert Street.
Right. Mike is older than Ric Flair. All right, Mike, you got a big fan there. But yeah, I moved around. I moved to Queens. I moved to Long Island. I moved back to Brooklyn. I went to St. Cecilia's. Me and Joe know each other from St. Cecilia's. I met Joe in 1st grade.
Yep.
And that's how we got started. We became friends.
Remember why, right?
Oh, because Joe split his pants and they put him
They
put him in my class.
I was goofing off in my class, and I did a split, and I split my pants, and then they put me in the other class, and I stood in the corner trying to cover my ass. And then that's the first time I saw James.
The shortest kid in school, by the way.
We were in
Not
love ever
anymore,
since.
but what?
We were in love ever since, right, baby?
How can we be lovers if we can't be friends? So What do you guys? So, what was it like for you growing up in Greenpoint, Mike?
It was great. I loved it. I miss it.
What'd you do for fun before you met me?
Before I met you and all the
And all the extracurricular
and the fucking
activities.
clown and the fucking clown show that was 4th Street. No, what?
Like your childhood memories. Like what'd you do?
Wiffle ball.
Yeah,
What else?
of course.
Play basketball in the schoolyard. Summer camp across the street at the schoolyard.
Did you go to the PS 110 fucking what was the summertime thing that they had? Remember you always go down
Summer school?
No, not summer school.
No,
it was
I was in the 1 classes. I didn't have to go to summer school.
I got you. No, I know. I'm talking about it was like a sports day type thing. PS 110 used to have it, and you used to go there. I used to go there and play dodgeball and shit in the fucking schoolyard.
No, my summers I used to work at my mom's job, where she worked at the mattress company over on Longmore and Bedford by McCarran Park.
Okay.
So I used to do odd jobs over there. I used to make the bed clamps. For
odd job? What kind of odd jobs, Mike?
No, making they had me mainly making the bed clamps for the bed frames. Used to answer the phones when the front desk secretary was taking vacations.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
I was getting paid $5 an hour to do and making $200 a week. So
nice.
Back then that was good. Yeah, definitely. Johnny and I used to fucking play. We used to play football out in the street. I played football out in the street by Joe's house. You played fucking baseball on the diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Joey's a very violent person. He likes to beat up people in Barney outfits.
I was always like the littlest one.
Johnny, yeah.
I was always like the fucking
he was my tag along. Yeah, Johnny was my tag along. It made me to take him everywhere with me.
Johnny, I think you were still taller than me, though.
That's funny, Joey. Yeah, you're probably right.
At one
You're
point,
probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Johnny
I would always beg.
And shit.
I would always beg James to take me everywhere.
I know. Yeah, I remember.
Everywhere. Yeah, I had a lot of fun growing up there.
Johnny scared me now. And I used to hang around with you.
Because you're always fucking around, Mike.
Well, you fucking always wanted to threaten to kill me or something.
I was always fucking around. What are you talking about? It was all fun.
So when I was a kid, I got a lot of memories of Winthrop Park. And hanging out in Winthrop Park. I started out playing. I played wiffle ball in there, football. Joe, did you hang out? But did you go to Winthrop a lot when you were younger?
Yeah, we used to go. My mom used to take me and my brothers there. We'd ride our bikes. Little League actually had some practices there. We used to do our baseball practices.
That's right. Little League did practice there. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And every now and then we play tackle. We'd play tackle football.
Oh, tackle, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And McCarran. I remember us going to McCarran too.
McCarran was more. I liked McCarran for the diamond, or even riding the track. My dad used to run the track, and I would take my bike, and I would ride my bike on the track. But McCarran was more for the baseball diamond, and then of course right over there you had the tar courts where we used to play.
Courts. I don't know why I thought this, but I was thinking about this the other day. Did we play against the good old guys? Remember the fucking automotive club?
I don't think we ever played against
them. Or maybe they were just playing there at the same.
They were just good,
and then we had to wait for them to get done before we could play.
Yeah, well, because that was the other thing too. There was always teams playing. If you try to play during the weekend, you had to wait, because it was always they took control over that because they used to have the games, whatever. But
exactly,
the best
was playing in a league. We were just fucking playing just.
Remember what we would do? We would all walk there, right? Just a few of us, and then we'd play a pickup game with whoever was there.
Sure.
Remember, we actually played Hasidic Jews once. Remember?
I think.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Who won?
To be fair, we were all paired, so it wasn't just us against them. Which I know that sounds weird. I don't mean it in any derogatory way. No, but we just a couple of them on our team, a couple on us on their team, and a couple of us on their team, and it was good.
Cool.
It was good. We had a good time.
I remember playing them, but I'm glad you remembered that we won. That's funny.
Yeah. No, we did.
I remember at Winthrop though. I used to go to the daycare.
Johnny,
remember the building in the middle?
Oh
The
yeah,
building
yeah,
in the
that's
middle
right.
of
They
the
had
park.
like an after school thing there. Carrie's
that was a
mother,
Yeah, and
Carrie's mother
and
ran
that
it.
and nah, and that's where I used to go. And we used to do arts
Yeah.
and crafts and all that shit in there.
Yeah,
And then after, my mom would take me across the street to the diner where the Greeks were.
Oh
And,
yeah,
Oh, what,
yeah,
the
the
luncheonette?
luncheonette. Yeah, the luncheonette.
Yeah, remember
Used to
that one?
love
Remember?
the luncheonette.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she'd always ask you if you wanted more onion. Remember? She'd be like, a little more onion?
No, you like a little
And
onion?
you like little onion? You're like,
You
no,
like
I'm good on the
you want a
onion, baby.
little onion in your drink?
You want a little onion in your mouth?
Yeah.
Johnny, did you
I
give her a little
remember
onion?
that.
Did you
I
give
did.
him your little
I
onion?
did. Dude, it was, I love, they would go, from what I remember, because they closed.
No,
like,
dude, they were awesome. I love the cheeseburgers. The
Yeah,
milkshakes were really good.
yeah. That's what it always was a
They had
cheeseburger
the
and a milkshake.
old-fashioned phone booth in there. Remember?
Yeah.
I used to
it
go
was
there for the
good.
fountain sodas because they used
Oh
to do
yeah,
the old-fashioned
egg
fountain
creams.
sodas.
Yeah, they did the egg creams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And then the old and Louis, the old man, never let you use the bathroom. And he would be just like angry, fucking pissed off all the time. You ask him for a straw, he'd be like, "You want straw?
Yeah. Now, you know what though, man? Those were good times though.
Yeah,
You know?
it's stuff we never forget because we grew up there. I mean, Greenpoint was such a great neighborhood when we were growing up in those times. It really was. I loved, like I said, Winthrop Park, the luncheonette. I used to go to Jiffy's on Nassau Avenue, the candy store all the time.
Yep.
Seals on Newell and Nassau.
Didn't you shop at Busy Bee?
I really didn't shop there, but I
think you
went
did.
there to get some
All right.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Grandma would go to Busy Bee for kibasi and stuff like that. She would.
Johnny, I remember when we were
go
little
to
and your
Busy
mother we used to go to Key Food on McGinnis Boulevard. And they
Oh
used to
yeah, I
have
used to go with
that-
Grandma
that-
once a week.
The spot where they had the 5-cent candies. We used to
Yep.
just eat them, and your
No
mother
one
never,
paid.
And
No
your
one
mother never
paid.
paid for them. Yeah,
No one paid.
Yeah.
No one paid.
Yeah,
Dude,
nobody.
I
did.
remember going to Key Food, and I would always have to go with Grandma to carry the bags back, and I would always get in trouble in the meat department because I would always poke holes in the meat. And a couple times the butcher would come out and he'd be like, "Stop poking the holes in the meat."
Yeah.
And my
What were you
Grandma would
poking
say,
it with?
That's what I was going to ask, Mike.
my finger. I was just putting holes in them. And my grandma would always yell at him and say, "My grandson didn't do nothing wrong." And I did. I poked all the
Johnny did everything.
all the
Did
holes.
everything.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
used
but
to
Grandma's
take
the best. She'll never say.
I used to take Johnny when I was serving mass in St. Cecilia's, and he used to always try to make me laugh. He was sitting in the pew and just be staring at me and smiling.
Dude,
away.
remember the priest wouldn't want me to go anymore.
Yeah. Well, and he did the
Yeah.
same thing. He did the same thing with me and Joe. We weren't allowed to serve. We were altar boys. We weren't allowed to serve mass together. We served maybe
Dude.
like 2 masses, and then that was it. They put an end to that.
It was just too funny when they did the Latin. It was so, I don't know why. I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was just hysterical. I couldn't help it.
Oh, that's what me and him.
And I would
that's
just
what-
laugh.
So wait,
That's
so
why-
me, Joey, and you all survived St. Cecilia's with the priest?
Yep.
Apparently,
God.
Knock on wood.
we live to tell about it. A lot
That's
of other
crazy.
kids have other stories.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
glad we don't have those stories.
I knew.
Yeah.
So
I heard a lot of stories about that.
well, Father Pat loved little boys, you know. What are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
well, I mean, we're not. I really don't want to go into that. So, besides Winthrop Park, McCarran Park, where else did you guys hang out? Because me and Joey broke apart after a while. I know you hung out on the north side a lot, right?
North side, and then even in Queens. I would just drive around Queens, drive around the neighborhood.
Right.
That's what I would do. So when I got a car, I just used to drive around the neighborhood aimlessly. We used to hang out, blast music, scope out the girls that we weren't talking to. We just circle them a couple of times. That was it. Go to the Queens Center Mall.
Just to look at them.
Became mall rats. Yeah. But before then, because you had mentioned it too, like literally on the corner right where I lived, on the 4 corners of Monitor and Herbert, right across the street from the church, we would all play ball. We'd use the 4 corners as bases, and we would hit literally balls off the church, which they were okay with because they were used to balls off the church. But yeah, we used to play sports all day,
we used
almost
the
every day.
We played with, we usually use a tennis ball.
Yeah,
or,
manhunt, and then manhunt. Don't forget manhunt at night in the summertime.
Yeah, and like because the handballs, they would always get roped. We would always have to go to the store.
Oh,
Everybody
forget
having
about it,
fucking, who got the next dollar for the next ball?
Yeah,
Whatever,
none of us had money, you know. So
yeah, you didn't have money back then.
We had to buy wiffle balls like by the case because we used to hit everything over roofs.
Smart though, Mike. Smart. We never did shit like that. So if you roof a ball, that's it. The fucking game, the day's done.
That's why I always used to go like to Graham Avenue and buy like maybe 3 or 4.
What, Ben and Frank?
Yeah, Ben and Frank's.
Ben and Frank's.
And they like about 3 or 4 of them, and just keep them in the apartment on North Henry Street, just in case if something happened, we had a backup.
PS34 schoolyard basketball and beer, or more beer than basketball every day.
That's right.
PS34. Yeah, I used to play basketball there. A lot of people hung out there, and a lot of kids older than me, obviously, in their teens in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably drinking and hanging out there.
Even 126. We used to play handball there.
Yeah.
Handball, basketball. There. Yeah.
Yep.
And baseball, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to Cherry Street Park a lot.
Cherry Street Park. I used to play handball there.
I went there for other activities.
Me too. I went there for other.
Do you see what it looks like now?
Yeah.
It's gorgeous over there.
Yeah.
I haven't
Holy
seen
shit. Remember that big salt mine that used to be behind it?
Yep, right behind it.
That's right.
All that's
gone.
Gone. All that's gone. It's beautiful.
Well, wasn't the salt mine used for the sanitation to do the streets when the
Yeah. I mean, all those streets, though, Johnny, when I worked for George's Meat and Deli and I was doing deliveries, I would go down all those streets. Stewart, Gardner, I would do all those streets. I would deliver to all the factories and the companies over there. So I used to know all the back roads and stuff like that. Lombardi Street. You know all the streets I'm talking about, right, James?
Yeah. I mean, I know, that's like me and Johnny were talking earlier on the phone, and I said, like we hung out literally all over the place. I hung out in Greenpoint, Williamsburg.
I remember hanging out from Cooper Projects all the way to Noble Street by Mike and Lynch's house.
I mean, we weren't.
So it was all
projects, but yeah.
No, but it was that whole span
that
we would hang out.
Yep. Yeah. And then down by Mahelik's house on Noble Street, down by Franklin. I hung out in Franklin Park. But for me, as a kid, Winthrop Park, that was like my home away from home.
What's your earliest memory?
Winthrop was the spot. Yeah.
James, what's your earliest memory of Greenpoint?
My earliest memory, it's got to be it has to be Winthrop Park. Yeah, definitely. What about you guys? What's your earliest memory? Mike?
Go first, Mike.
I'm thinking.
So for me, I was always on the border of Greenpoint and Williamsburg.
Right.
When I lived on Graham Avenue, technically that was Williamsburg because my zip was 11211.
Yeah.
But then when I moved to Herbert, I was Greenpoint. So what my earliest memory of Greenpoint was taking the 62 from Graham Avenue. It would always be me, my mom, my Aunt Barbara, and my cousin Tara, Barbara's daughter, Tara. Mm-hmm. And we would, all 4 of us, take the 62 to Manhattan Avenue. My mom and them would all go, they go shopping. I remember as early being a stroller. I'm almost positive that my mom left me in the stroller room, because they had like department stores like Goodwin's and shit.
Yeah.
They used to have places where the mothers can put the strollers in the storage. I know for a fact I was left in that fucking carriage while they were shopping. But then we would all go to Triple Decker
smoking.
We go to Triple Decker, we get eggs, breakfast, and then we go home.
Oh, 3-Decker was great. Johnny and Socrates, fucking Charlie from Socrates. What a nice guy he was.
Dude, once a week we would go there with Grandma.
Yeah.
Once a week. It was either Socrates or 3-Decker. But yeah.
I love
once a week.
Their food, their pancakes were delicious.
Dude, my first memory, I think, was Grandma's backyard because it was always overgrown.
Oh my god, dude!
And
Yo,
and
do you
it, and
remember
it
that
was
when we were younger? My
of
yard?
course I do.
No, I'm talking about. Does Joey remember that?
James, do you remember us trying to fucking weed whack it?
Oh my god, that
Oh,
was
see,
insane.
so I'm not the only one who
Bro,
remembers it.
Dude,
Then.
it was like
Johnny.
a jungle.
Yeah,
One
it
year,
was just so outgrown.
it was like 94 because I remember we were listening to the radio, listening to a boombox. I had live Throwing Copper, the album on. We were listening to live playing in the background, and we're trying to use a weed whacker that was broken. All it was a string that was whipping, and we're just trying to, dude. It was fucking. It was like the safari back there.
Dude, do you remember my banister?
It was
in the
nuts.
backyard? Me and Johnny were talking about this the other day. My
You
banister.
needed what? After coming inside from the backyard, you needed a tetanus shot. Period.
What?
Period.
I can't picture it, James.
The
There was
banister
so
had the
many
wood
rusty
was all
nails.
fucking chipped and broken. There were nails coming out of it. You don't remember that?
Yeah.
No.
I thought for sure you would have remembered that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised you don't.
Yeah, and the banister in my front, in the front of my house was metal. It was fucking hanging off the side.
I think
It
that
was
was the only
rusted.
time I was in your yard, though, James. Was that one time?
Really?
Yeah,
All the times
You ever
you've been
see?
to
You
my
ever?
fucking house? Wow.
You ever see that movie, The Burbs?
Yeah.
With Tom
Yeah.
Hanks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Our house was the haunted house on the block because Grandma never did nothing with it. So it was the original house from like the
It was
30s.
there,
So
yeah. She fucking was there
Yeah,
till
it
fucking
was-
was falling apart, and then she decided
it
to
was
sell
crazy. Yeah, and she sold it, but yeah, it was. I love that house.
So yeah, it was my grandparents' house on Diamond Street. They bought it after they got married. Before that, I believe they lived on Manhattan Avenue. And then my grandma
No,
sold.
James, they lived around the block.
Well, grandma lived behind.
Remember?
I'm talking about when
Oh,
they
yeah,
first got
yeah.
together.
Okay.
They lived
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Manhattan
Yeah,
Avenue.
you're right.
Grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yep.
And then they bought the house on Diamond Street. And then she sold it in 2005 and moved to Long Beach. Me and Johnny stayed in Greenpoint. We got an apartment on Humboldt Street between Powers and Grant Street. We lived there for a year. And that was 2005 to 2006. And then we moved to Houseman Street.
Mm.
And we lived there for another year. Johnny moved to
Dude,
Florida.
we lived there longer than a year. But Housing Street was nuts, dude.
Yeah, Houseman
Do
Street.
you remember?
Yeah, it was wild.
What? That shit was nuts. It
I
was,
came
and it
home-
wasn't even us.
No, I know. But we had
It was
crazy
the
times,
landlord.
too. Yeah, but we had crazy times too, though.
Not like them though.
No, not like them. They were fucking wild. But we had our own parties too.
For sure we did.
I remember
Sure.
coming home from work, and I come in the house, and Carson and Zaz, and they're rolling dice in my fucking living room. I'm just like, oh my
Yeah.
god. I remember coming out
Remember
of the
Carson
bathroom.
used to. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all right. I remember coming out of the bathroom, and Zaz was laying in the middle of my floor naked. His pants down.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
yeah. I remember. There was a lot of fun.
Thomas Green. I used to climb on the statue of the guy holding the rope in Winthrop Park. Yeah, a lot of kids did that.
You know, if there's anybody who I miss the most,
Mhm.
it's Robert. It's Zaz. For
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. One of a kind.
I swear to you, he really was. I spent a lot of time with him.
I know you did. Yeah, we all did. Robbie Byers, I miss him too.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Zaz
Yeah,
one
Robert
time
Byers,
grab
too.
a
Yeah.
glass bottle of salsa in St. Cecilia Schoolyard, and just this is how fucking crazy he was. He was just tapping it against the cement border, and he's tapping it. All of a sudden, you see the fucking thing explode. His hands are covered in glass and blood. And I'm over there shooting hoops, and I'm like, what the fuck did he just do?
Johnny, didn't you fucking? He paid you? No, you paid him $20, and he drank bacon grease out of a pan.
No. This is, there was so many things that Zaz did that I can't even talk about on this thing because, I mean, I don't know who's watching, but I don't want them to think anything bad. But he was just the best. He really was. He didn't even need the $20, dude. He told me. I didn't tell him.
Yeah.
He was like, Johnny, I bet I won't eat this. And I said, no, why? I'm like, don't do it. And he did it anyway. He really just liked to make everybody smile around.
That is what
He
makes
was
great on Fear
fantastic.
Factor.
He was fantastic. It makes me sad. Yeah.
I
For
know.
real.
And Puds
he
too.
was great. Taz was great.
Puds
Good
too.
guy.
I miss Puds too.
Yeah. Dude.
I always joked with James
Yeah.
whenever one of his friends died, like when Puds died and Robert and Zaz, and I was like, I gotta say the fucking you. I said, oh, your friends fucking died, man.
We lost a lot of good people.
You know what it was too is that
The sad thing,
I
they were
was
good
so
guys.
young when you started bringing me around that I grew up with them as a child. You know, like I didn't like they didn't do really effed up stuff around me till I got older. You know what I mean? Like, but when I was younger, they would take me to go play basketball or take me to get my hair cut. You know what I mean? Like, so I seen the good in a lot of them because they weren't doing the crazy shit when I was there because I was too little.
Yeah.
You know? So, and then when I got older, that's when everybody started.
Yeah.
Yeah, KO used to take me to get my hair cut, so did Carson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I turned 16, 17, and that's when I started playing on the dark side.
Not on the dark side by John Cafferty and the Beaver Town Band.
No, that's when they took me, and then I entered the other side of Greenpoint. You know, the armpit.
It's funny that what Thomas Greenwood said here, that he climbing on the statue. I remember seeing kids doing that all the time. I never could do it. I don't know.
I never did it. I never did it, but I also used to see
never
that
did it.
too. Never did it. I used to scale St. Cecilia's the church. I used to scale the wall. We used to go all around. Dude, I was on the roof of
all of those kids did. Freddie and Jose used to do
when
that
we
too.
played Manhunt. I went on the roof of the gym.
Yeah, dude, remember when my friend Richie Salvatore from fucking Long Island, I brought him to fucking Brooklyn? Dude, he climbed on top of the church and the fucking gym, and he couldn't get back down. He was fucking crying. The cops had to come and help get him down. Dude, that was insane.
What an idiot! Because he was probably doing it to show off.
Yeah,
and he ended up getting stuck up there.
Yeah,
Joey, do you? I remember you Joey and Jimmy. You guys used to hang out with Vinny. You ever?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Vinny? I liked Vinny.
I did too. Queens now. I did too.
So funny story. I'm working in the hotel on Madison Avenue, right? And I used to be a doorman, or when the hotel was open before the pandemic. So a few years ago, I'm by the door, and I just see Vinny walking on Madison Avenue, doing stuff I think for work. And it wasn't the first time I seen him, but this time I wasn't busy, and I was able to approach him. And I said, "Vinny, what's up?" And he had no idea who the fuck I was. I'm like, "Vin, it's Joey." And I'm like, "Vin, I lived on your block. We grew up together." He still couldn't put two and two together.
He was fucking burnt
and then
out.
Finally,
that's crazy. He should be ashamed of himself. Yeah.
Finally,
no,
it came
I'm
to
just
him.
saying. I'm just saying because you guys were real close with him.
Yeah,
How the hell don't you remember
we
Joey?
went to school together. Yeah.
Exactly. I lived on your block.
Maybe he was just burnt the hell out. Who knows?
He told me. He's like, "Joe, not for nothing. I don't know, James. Have you spoken to him recently?
I haven't spoken to him since I got out of the hospital. I talked to him I talked to him on the phone when I first came home from the hospital. I talked to him when I was in the hospital too. I let him know what was going on and shit. But other than that, no, I haven't spoken to him.
He used to be at my house. He used to come to my house. We used to go to his house for like Halloween parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I remember going over to Vinny's a couple times with you guys.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't stay there. Like, I would go home later. But I remember going over there, and I always remember Vinny. His favorite song was "Pure Love." Do you know that? Damn, man, it's like freestyle song.
100%.
Yeah.
Crystal Waters. Yeah.
Yeah.
To the middle of the round again.
Yeah. And I remember him always eating the cupcakes that came in the sleeve, the three of them, and he would shove them.
Milk.
Yeah, he would shove them in a big glass of milk and eat them like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that too.
It's crazy what you remember when you're little. And when
My
you're old.
my earliest memory with Vinny, it was just me and him in the yard, right? Dude, it was insane. And for some reason, there was an axe in the yard.
I think I remember this.
So we were playing, dude. We were playing. I don't know. We had to save somebody with whatever. Bro, I'm like chopping the fucking chairs. I'm chopping the side of the house. I'm like, yeah, we got to destroy the alarm system. And so I destroy the yard. And his grandmother at the time, like, you know, I forgot what it was. She's like, who is that? That's Joey. Is he the one that chopped my chairs? I don't know. It was just funny. I was young. I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old.
Dude, I remember going to your grandmother's house when she lived on DeVoe Street.
Yeah, she had a huge yard in front.
That yard, dude, but it was like wasn't there like a lot of dirt and stuff? Was it like
bro? It was a pile of shit.
Like I said, a construction site. It looked like
no. So it was a complete the full front yard, right? All dirt, some concrete or whatever. But my grandfather, they used to have dogs. They always had dogs all the time. They used to shovel the shit into the side of the yard. They created a pile that was like 6 feet high.
Shit.
Just in the corner of the yard. But Johnny, here's the crazy thing. As a kid, I used to play on it.
Oh,
play on a pile of shit.
Look at compost over there, you fucking grinding.
He called it shit mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's
And you know what's fucked up is that you know, especially back then, our grandparents, they said, oh, he's having fun. Don't worry about it. He'll take a shower when he comes in. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But let him roll around in the dog shit. That's fine.
Go light a firecracker with cigarettes. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
When me and Johnny were real little, we used to play in a fucking dirty pile of laundry. In the middle of the floor. We didn't care.
Yeah.
We'd run and jump in it and fucking
That was the thing, because it was the middle room.
Yeah,
That from the dining room to the other bedroom.
Right.
So that was the laundry room, and we would just roll around in filth. James, remember when I caught the fucking mouse in my hand?
Johnny caught a mouse, but that wasn't at my grandma's house. That was on Metropolitan Avenue at your dad's house.
No, that was at grandma's.
No. Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
That was on my apartment on Nassau Avenue. That's what it was.
Okay. I must have been like 2 years old.
2 years old.
How did you catch a mouse? Those things move like the speed of light.
He grabbed it with his hand.
I caught it with my hand, and then I went to bite it. And then my mom and my aunt were like, no, they were screaming. And they were afraid to take it out of my hand, so I squeezed it
and killed it.
They bite it. What, you fucking Ozzy Osbourne? You gonna bite the head off?
Oh, well, you know, when
That's
you're 2 years old,
serial
you
killer
don't
tendencies
know.
right there, killing animals when you're
yeah. When you're 2 years old, I thought it was a toy. I don't even remember doing it.
Probably.
You know? It was just. It must have been a really slow mouse, though.
It must have been wounded or
on his way out.
something.
Maybe he ate some poison.
He must have had a bum leg or something. Because how the hell you let a 2-year-old catch it?
He got shot in the leg. Oh, my God.
That was crazy. I shouldn't have been able to catch that thing.
No.
Yeah, that thing was fucked up. It was sick. And then I put it in my mouth, so that's cool. Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah.
So I would just have a couple questions for you guys. So, how do you think the neighborhood differs from then until now? Like
the rent.
Oh yeah, the rent. Obviously, that's number one.
Fucking yuppies.
That was another thing. That's a good point.
I can't stand them.
Those fucking
I do.
I mean, if you look at it now, it's more modernized. You know, like everybody came from all over now that lives in Greenpoint. And like you said, the rent, you got to be rich to fucking live there.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was gonna say it's safer, but even when I was a kid, it was safe, man. So
yeah. Well,
you know, so it was never really like a horrible neighborhood. Yeah,
no,
I mean,
it wasn't.
But
that
you know,
hard.
but you know, at the same
Flatbush or something.
No. I think
there were bad times. There were bad times in those times. You know, there were bad times.
I think it wasn't bad for us, meaning all four of us, because our families were there for generations, you know, so like everybody really knew each other. Even if you didn't know somebody, you still knew them though, or somebody you knew this person.
Right.
Yeah. So like
protected us a lot too.
Yeah. So like that really did protect you when you were
Definitely.
little, because there was always somebody looking out for you. You know what I mean?
And that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
I
So
mean-
I think if you were new and you moved in, maybe you would have had a problem. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I never did. I was always safe wherever I went. You know.
I never felt in danger, or I felt like the neighborhood was bad. But everybody outside of Greenpoint, James, you know that. Even Dangerfield made a joke about how Greenpoint in the '80s was bad. Remember?
That was a meme, though. It wasn't. He didn't.
I thought Dangerfield's the one that said it.
No.
You know, I think that, like I said, a lot of it has to do with
This is
like
the
people
meme.
that ain't from there. Because my dad grew up on Guernsey Street,
Yeah.
and my mother grew up on Diamond. But my dad said Greenpoint was known for people that would rob you and rob your car if you weren't from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So maybe there is another side to it
Before
that
us,
we don't know, because
before
we're
us, it was probably a lot worse. Yeah.
you know. I mean, remember what's his name that we would should we be dropping names if they're alive or no?
I mean, it depends how
You
we're
know?
dropping them.
Well, it depends on
How
what
we
we're
dropping
talking
them?
about.
How we dropping them like for
Dude,
legal purposes?
Who
Remember
was
that guy that had herpes on the corner of Monitor?
Yo, remember
The guy,
the guy
screaming
that
Pollock on fucking Manhattan Avenue?
no remember
He's not
when we would
alive.
go to the store. No, we would go to the store and he would always ask for change, and he was always fucking out of his mind. Fucking
I think I
come
do
on, he
know
used to
who-
wear the trench coat in the park when he was younger.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Come on, how don't you know? Forget it. Move
No,
on.
I said I think
Move
I
on.
know.
You-
I just can't.
You're frustrating me. How don't you know? He used to wear a trench coat when you guys were younger and
Yeah.
hang out in the park. And then he got older, and then he ended up going to Rikers Island and coming back and going back
Shit,
and
I don't
forth every
remember
Oh
year.
yeah.
James, you don't remember. What the
No,
fuck?
I do.
No, he don't remember. No, he
No.
don't, because he would drop the name.
He doesn't
You
Talking
don't
remember.
about Reich?
No, you would know as soon as you say
bothering
it.
me
I would
because
know.
I
know
ain't
who
got
you're
a freaking
talking
clue.
about.
Not damn it. Just move on. I'll think about it. That's gonna bother me now.
Yeah.
Wasn't the screaming guy James? Didn't we call him Abraham Lincoln?
I called him Abraham Lincoln, but everybody called him Drac.
Oh yeah, so that's
I
what
just
Thomas
called
is
him the
saying.
screaming
Yeah.
Pollock.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Wait, I didn't see all these comments coming up
They used to
now.
call him Hutch.
Hang on one second.
Wait, he wasn't Polish?
No, he was Ukrainian.
Oh, he's
Oh, he's
okay.
Ukrainian. Angela. Yeah,
Angela
said
chimed in. He was Ukrainian.
Shelter House.
The screaming bum.
We are all family.
Yeah.
Now we don't know anyone. That's right. That's how it is now. You don't know anybody there. Drac Pack. That was his name. Yes. We used to call him Hutch. Okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, now, yeah, it would be tough to I wouldn't want to be growing up and living in that neighborhood now.
You're gonna rent $3,000 a month. How the hell are you gonna
Well,
afford it?
I'm saying even if the economy was how it was back then with the way the neighborhood is now, would you be able to live there?
I think if you grew up there now, you'd be in a better position to succeed than when we did.
Probably. Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, because now it's just
It's different
everything's
times.
just so different.
Everything is
Yeah,
different.
it's so different. It wouldn't be so much of an armpit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I also feel like the idea of neighborhoods to me. I mean, look, when was the last time we grew up in a neighborhood, right? Because we were younger when we were growing up there. But I feel like the idea of neighborhoods, the idea of going out and again, I can't really speak for the younger generation because I really don't know what they do. But I just feel like the sense of hanging out and all the things we're talking about now, you know, playing ball in the street, doing all this crazy shit we used to do just to, you know, whatever it was, pass the time. I'm not saying nobody does that now. I don't want to seem like, you know, an old man. I used to do that when I was younger, but
no, but if you
I really
do you
feel
ever
like
see kids doing that? You don't see that.
I feel like
No,
the
because
sense
they
of
all stay-
neighborhood,
because they all stay on their fucking phones and their fucking,
yeah.
the
fucking
sense
computers
everybody's
and shit.
making TikTok videos and doing this and doing that, and
Right.
you know, it's just there is no sense of neighborhoods anymore. I don't think it matters where you grow up.
It doesn't. Not really.
But I do agree with Johnny, though. I think that the what people have accessible to them in Greenpoint now,
Oh yeah.
everything has changed, and everything is just like he said, it's not an armpit anymore.
Right.
So,
But honestly, guys, I wouldn't take back anything. From
no,
what
me
we-
neither.
No, me neither. I
That was
wouldn't
just
take
it was just an amazing time growing up.
I wouldn't
Oh,
trade,
dude,
I wouldn't
it
trade
was
it
the
for
best.
anything.
No. I can still remember the smell of Grandma's hallway. And the sound that the door made when it opened and
Yeah, that
closed.
creak. Yeah, that creak or whatever.
There's just I wish I could go back. That's how much I loved it.
Stickball on West Street. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just wish I could go back and just be with all you guys again and just do it all over again. I really do wish that because it was some of the best times.
I miss Johnny kicking me out.
Mike, get out of my house.
Yo, because Mike would always come over with some bullshit. You know, like he'd always be sweating and fucking hot, and he needs to do this.
Well, I was a fat fuck back then. I'm a fat fuck still, but I'm a fat guy.
I'd be like,
heat.
Yo, Mike, you know, I still tell this story to this day of when you were on the train and the subway, you were breathing in that guy's face.
James.
Do
It was a guy, Mike standing there. We just get on the train. It's like fucking 90 degrees out. He's huffing and puffing. He's like, and he's holding on to the two bars. And there's a guy here up against the door. And he goes, man, get out of my face.
Dude, I love that story. Because I can totally picture Mike breathing in this guy's
He was
face.
fucking, he had like a pool of sweat coming off his face, fucking leaking.
the guy tells him to get out of his face.
He's like, man, get out of my face.
Oh my God, I love that. Oh, Jesus Christ. And I can just picture Mike just staring at the guy going, what?
He's like, what?
No, but I mean, like, there's things I miss. I mean, I miss, you know, hanging out in my cousin's balloon store on Nassau Avenue, Balloons Plus.
I remember that
it was
store, the
open.
card store. Yeah.
Nassau
Nassau and Diamond, right? It was right next to the grocery store there.
Yeah, it was right next to the liquor store on the corner.
Right.
And then hanging out when my Aunt Carol had the candy store across the street from St. Stan's.
Yep.
Those are the things I miss. I mean, even
I love that store across from St. Stan's.
Yeah, that was my aunt's candy store.
Right before
Which
Rick had it.
Carol's.
It was a little store right across from St. Stan's, across from the schoolyard. Right, it was a store. They had video games in there. We used to go in there and fucking play video games.
I don't remember that.
I thought you would have known that. But
No.
we used to go to the one next to Sunset. Did you go in there, Joe, and play fucking the little tiny little store next to Sunset?
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, on Monitor.
No, you know, like and
Right
that
across from the Triangle.
No.
and like and then you said Jiffy's. They used to hang out with my friend Jessica when she was in
Jiffy's
worked
always had
there.
the pretzels on a stick. We used to go to Jiffy's and get the
I
pretzels.
think every one of those stores had the pretzels on a stick.
Dude, the only arcade that I remember in the neighborhood was when Vex did it on Graham Avenue.
Yeah, I remember Vex had there. Yeah,
That was it.
But
No, and also James,
what?
2:00 White Castle runs on a Friday night.
Oh, Jesus! Me and Joey went in there. Fucking.
That was dangerous having
Me
that
and-
White Castle there. Dangerous.
Me and James after
so
some
good
herbal,
though. Oh,
after some
God.
herbal refreshments, and then my father. He wanted always hot chocolate. He goes, "You going to White Castle? Yeah, hot chocolate and a donut."
You know, you know what one thing that Greenpoint made though? It made some of the best characters that I've ever seen in my life.
100%.
Oh,
Definitely.
Dude, like you'll never find people anywhere else that are like the way they are. It only comes from
I
Greenpoint.
was telling
man.
James
It's
that on
just-
the phone the other day. I said the dwarf lady and the Martian.
The Martians, yeah. They're perfect characters.
dude, and everybody had a nickname, you know, and it was
it's
just great.
crazy.
It was
No one
just
knew.
great. I loved it.
That's all part about being from Brooklyn. Though. That's how it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Your nicknames in all parts of Brooklyn.
And I remember James showing me how to tag up on walls and shit, and with the marker.
Bad influence,
Yeah,
James.
just bad. Yeah, and I would walk around with a big marker because James did it.
Fucking little piece of shit. I remember the cops stopping me on Newell Street. I had a fucking can. I was with Maria. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, come here. And he fucking pulls my shirt. rips my shirt. He's like, that's somebody's store over there. What are you doing?
What happened?
Well, he was
That was
right.
it. Yeah.
He didn't take you in.
No,
so.
he left me alone.
You
take
know what
the
was
can?
good about the cops?
I don't remember. Probably.
What was good about the cops in Greenpoint, they were from the 9-4. So if they seen your ID,
Yeah.
you know how many times I got pulled over in Greenpoint and my car was packed, full of bad stuff, and they just seen my ID and they would tell you to go.
Because you
They
were
would
from
tell you to go
Greenpoint.
because you were a neighborhood kid. Yeah, and they would tell you to go. Yeah. It's crazy.
Insane. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I hung out all over Greenpoint. I hung out in Williamsburg. I remember playing football. Johnny, I mean, football on fucking Diamond Street with the kids from Norman Avenue.
Yeah, we would play every weekend.
And that was so cool about playing the street, even by your house, Joe. Everybody would pause whenever there was. Everybody go, color, and you'd stop.
Yeah. And remember the way we would play baseball is we would go down by the factory, and we would make marks and say, okay, this is a single, this is a double, this is a triple, this is a home run.
Because you play off the wall.
Right, you're not running bases, you know.
Yeah.
So
not on the factory.
I like that way of playing. It made
and I
everything
used to
go
like
quicker
playing
too.
with the strike zone when we had the strike zone and the chalk marked against the wall. That was cool.
James, I remember playing in Key Food in McGinnis. The parking lot.
Yeah.
And we'd hit off the factory that was right across. Did you ever play there?
It's still there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the factory's still there too.
Yeah, we used to play down there with Steve too.
We used to play down there a lot. Yeah.
Right.
You remember Steve, Joey?
Yeah, of course.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because I remember Joey since I was a little boy.
Yeah,
that's weird, right?
So James would bring you. James would bring you over in the neighborhood, and he would tell me, "Be careful what you say or do around my cousin. You know, I don't want you to be a bad influence on him."
I remember. I said that.
Because I used to curse. I didn't curse a lot. But
one thing, man. James was always a good cousin. He was, and James was never bad. I was always fucked up. My brothers were always fucked up.
I'll make a face on that one.
No, James is a pretty solid dude, man. He don't lie. He's a good dude.
I'm McGinnis, bro.
The carnival, Johnny. Remember going there? That was the fucking best carnival. St. Stan's. Yep. McGinnis.
Dude, I remember coming home from there with Robert Byers. He was walking me home. And we seen two guys banging in a van, remember? And Robert, broke the window. Yeah, and he broke the window, and the guys chased us. Remember, he took something, he threw it at the window, and then the guys chased us, and I was terrified. I thought, I was like,
wait, were the guys chasing you with their pants down still? Or
no, they were looking to beat up Robert. I was little.
Yeah,
but it scared me that there was that they were banging in there. You know, I was like, "What the fuck,
Mike? One was still on the guy's back as he was running."
You know, leave it to Robert Byers, man. He was the best.
Dude, as crazy as he would always get into some shit everywhere he went.
You know what I used to do? We used to walk up Graham Avenue, and if it was raining, and he had an umbrella, he's the one that taught me this. He used to take the metal
would spit on people's umbrella. Oh.
No, he would the metal spokes of your umbrella, and he would hit the other person's umbrella, poke a hole in it.
Dude, he was just a fucked up kid.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he was.
He threw a rock at a woman's head. She turned around and thought it was me. I'm like, fuck. Because he ducked behind the car. He fucking threw a rock. I'll never forget. It was on Herbert Street. We were in front of Warshacks at the time. And she was almost on Humboldt. He threw it down the street, hits her, and he ducks, and all she sees was me.
And you're like, what? I didn't do it.
Yeah, I didn't.
Dude, Robert, really, he was the best for a long time.
Oh my God.
He was funny.
Dude, we went to go see the
he used to say, half the things he did, you can't even say, Jimmy. Because remember what he used to say to KO and all that other shit?
Oh, man.
He was crazy.
Yeah.
He was crazy.
I'll tell you that story backstage. But But yeah, so many fun stories.
It really was, man. It really was. I hope we can do this more because
yeah,
this
this
was
was fun. This was
Well,
fun.
not only that, there's so much more to talk about.
There is, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
I want to see.
Oh,
how,
yeah, there's
I
so
wanna
much
see how
content
well
here.
this one does. But guys, whoever's watching, and we got
I
some people
told you
watching.
this was going to be a weekly show.
No, I don't know about a
It has
weekly
to
show.
be.
Next week we're going to talk about Shanghai
Why
Lee.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll do a whole show.
James, I think you don't realize how much we can actually talk about.
Oh, I know.
Russ's
there is.
Pizza.
Yeah.
I told you alone. I mean, we can talk.
James, why? James, I heard that you said that we went to Carmine's in Original. We didn't really go to Russ's Pizza.
No, not Russ's.
Jimmy.
No, I mean we went to Russ's.
No.
But I was
Yeah,
Carmine's,
but
Nina's.
we
I
were
used
more
to like.
Carmine's. Yeah, we
My
did
brother- My
Carmine's
brother
more.
used to like
Yeah.
Russ's all the time. We used to go to Russ.
Where was Carmine's?
Carmine's was on Norman. Original
right?
Pizza.
Norman, Manhattan.
Norman in Manhattan.
Norman and Manhattan. Yeah.
Simon.
Yeah.
Simon the Simon.
Simon's the guy that always say yake. If I'm not mistaken, Simon was the one that no matter what you ordered, yake. Yake.
From where? Simon was from
Shanghai
where?
Lee.
Shanghai Lee. Right. Okay.
I thought he was talking about Russ's. Yeah.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Simon was from Shanghai Lee.
You're
If
probably
it's-
right, Joey.
If it's not, I'm stupid.
No, you're probably right.
No, but guys, this was fun. I'm glad you guys came on. Like you said, there's definitely more to talk about. So
I feel like we didn't. I feel like that we barely talk. I feel like there's so
We
much
barely
more.
scratched the
we
We
can
surface.
talk
talked about
Yeah.
friends. We didn't even really talk about Greenpoint.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We got into a
We gotta
lot.
still mention Junkie Jim.
He's episode 2. He'll be on episode 2.
Yo, and how about Jimmy with the dirty water dogs and shit?
Jimmy the
There's
hot
all- so
dog
many
man.
other
That's
shit.
why I named
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah,
Bro, Jimmy the Hot
Jimmy
Dog
the
Man.
Hot
Greenpoint
Dog.
Little League. I mean, come
That's
on.
hot dog.
Yeah,
Whole
there's
fucking neighborhood.
there's still so much more to talk about.
Brother and sister, let's go.
Yeah, step brother and stepsister.
Cheap Charlie's.
Cheap
Cheap
Charlie.
Charlie's. My
George's.
grandmother knew the guy there. Yeah, remember Just Men?
Yeah.
Just
saw
Men
that.
was where we got all our clothes
So,
and
dude,
shit.
I was actually my name for the show was going to be Just Men, and then I realized I didn't know what I'm advertising.
Dude, I think my grandmother bought me every piece of clothing in that store.
Dude,
I used to
over
always
the
buy
years.
shit Just Men.
Man.
You know,
Yeah.
Johnny, you know what I used
Yeah.
to buy? I used to buy the graphic sweatshirts.
Yeah,
One of the
the
last
Echo
things I
ones I
bought
used to wear.
Was a
Yeah.
49ers Cowboys playoff sweatshirt.
And didn't you guys know the security guard?
Yeah,
Remember the
the
kid that
dog
always
house.
used to stand outside?
I think we did. James.
Oh,
James.
Tommy Mulvaney. Yeah,
That's right. It was
Yeah,
Mulvaney.
Tommy
You're right.
Mulvaney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because every time we went in and came out, Tommy would always say hi to Grandma.
Yeah, we knew
Always.
Tommy.
Always.
Another kid, another guy we lost too soon.
Yeah. He would always say, "Hey, Mrs. Mooney, everything good?" And
Mm-hmm.
he would always ask about James. He would always
Yeah,
ask about you.
but what Thomas said, Purina Dog Chow. It does look like the Purina Dog Chow logo.
Yeah.
The colors of the Purina Dog Chow. Remember the tanks in Queens?
Of course.
Oh, speaking of the
Yeah.
tanks, that's how. Whenever you went on vacation, that's how you always knew you were home when you saw those tanks.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
even thinking about getting a tattoo of them.
That would be a cool tattoo. I thought
I
about
was.
it.
Like on your back.
Yeah,
right,
I
or
was thinking
something?
about getting, or on your side or something
Yeah.
cool. But
I
yeah,
was gonna get
like on the side with your street name across it, maybe Diamond Street or some shit like that.
Yeah, you could do that.
I was just gonna do the one. It was gonna be down there, you know. The one with the steeple.
Hell
The little-
yeah,
The little steeple, you know.
hell yeah, you should do it.
Right
If
there.
you do it, I'll do it.
All right.
I really would too if you did it.
Nah, this was fun, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming on, and everybody who watched. I appreciate you watching. Thomas, thank you for commenting. This was really fun. And
Don't forget Towley.
Oh, Tally, absolutely.
Oh, don't forget Faction Cast.
And Kendall from Faction Cast. Thank you guys for chiming in.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah, there will
It
be
was a
more
lot
to
of
come.
fun.
This
I
was
hope to
fun,
come
and
back more.
definitely want
Yeah.
to do more of these for sure.
For sure, I had a lot of fun.
So, guys, please subscribe because there will be more. And like I said, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a good night.
Later, boys. Have a good night, guys.
Oh, Johnny,
All right.
don't leave yet.
Johnny,
We're
Johnny, don't
going
leave yet.
Oh,
backstage.
okay. Okay.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.